Is it just me, or the new Fire Force season isn't hitting like I thought? Highly underwhelming. Rob, what's your thoughts? Okay, so I'm gonna give you my thoughts real quick, but we do have to talk to Jared too, because Jared had an interesting thread on Fire Force. But here's my thoughts on Fire Force. To me, I enjoyed the wrap up. Obviously, the fight scenes and the animation are like the standouts for Fire Force, but I loved what the theme was for the ending of Fire Force and how it tied into the beginning of Soul Eater, right? We get the entire Adola fusing with, you know, the real Earth physical realm. That's where it made it a world of your imaginations and what you believe can manifest into reality. So it's like, it was obviously talking on like the concepts of like the law of attraction and stuff like that, which I thought was very, very cool. Now, Jared, I get where you're coming from and some other people too. And I don't want to say your thread, you know, strictly because you're right here, so you can say it yourself. But how are you feeling about the recent Fire Force season?
Yeah, man. You know, it's like you said, there is a lot of good aspects about it. But, you know, I do think that, one, I felt like it was rushed, for sure. I felt like the latter half of season 3 was definitely rushed a little bit. Now, I do know, or I do remember there was some studio issues with releasing the second half of the 3rd season, et cetera, right? But I felt like even from getting into the Great Cataclysm, I felt like they rushed most of the main plot points that were happening. Arthur versus Dragon, the other pillars getting taken to Adola, Captain Obi getting killed by his doppelganger. All of that was like in 3 minutes. And I was like, come on. And we're like, what's going on here? There's no weight to nothing. Everything, like, you never, when Captain Obi got, feel me? I didn't even think for a second he was dead for real.
Yeah.
And then Shinra fake snapped and I was like, okay. So I felt like the weight of what was going on was great. Love it if you write it all out. But the way the anime did it, I felt like they rushed it. So because I felt like they rushed it, I felt like there's a lot of story ties with just loose ends, loose points. I understand where Arthur's power kind of came from to beat Dragon. He got it from Adola because of it fusing. He had the ring, etc. But I feel like we skipped some levels in strength in terms of how fast it happened. Like, we already knew about the level Arthur and Shinra were supposed to be at. There were spoilers in the past. But the way they just went from 0 to 100, and I actually have a video dropping tomorrow. I'm actually dropping I made a whole clip. But it's mainly, I felt, one, the power jumps were a lot rushed. And then honestly, bro, when it came to actually trying to tie in Soul Eater, I was like, y'all are just pulling this out here, you feel me? Like this is not making any real sense. It's just all audience interpretation. Like, oh, there's a few cameos, maybe some reincarnations, maybe. And then we also don't even know what happens, I guess, in the afterlife, if there is one in Shinra's world, via the afterlife in Death's world. 2 different afterlives, apparently. So now it's just like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm playing like hopscotch on the plot points. I just want to walk straight. I don't want to hopscotch.
Like I said, I can understand the issues that you had with it strictly because we didn't really have like a great grasp on what Adola meant to Fire Force as a whole until the later seasons. And that's speaking strictly from like a anime watcher perspective, because I did not read the Fire Force manga. So if you are a Fire Force manga fan, maybe you would have like different insight on why you think like, you know, the story made a lot more sense and blah, blah, blah. But there were a lot of instances in Fire Force where we were seeing things happen and we were like, why is this happening, right? Why is this character able to do this? Why does Arthur get a ridiculous power boost just by thinking he's a knight, right? Even you know, Tamaki's story having to tie into like your mental or anything like that, which tied into the real world fusing with Adola, right? And that's what they wanted, right? They were the evangelists, all of that stuff. They were trying to get Adola to kind of start the Great Cataclysm, basically, and take over. And then that's when the doppelgangers came in. We find out Iris is a doppelganger. And I feel like watching Fire Force, for the most part, we thought we had a grasp on the story. We thought it was, oh, these are fire powers just fighting each other and they're fighting this evil entity from like this demon realm or something like that, not realizing that Adola's actually kind of just like a parallel dimension of sorts, and bridging those two together makes the imagination of the physical realm manifest in Adola. And then those things kind of combine. So now it's like when Adola and the real world combine together, whatever you're thinking is going to happen. So that's why like the evangelists and stuff, they were trying so hard to keep the negative emotions up, because the longer they kept the negative emotions up, that would force people to be depressed, and then they would be able to, obviously destroy everything and then start over. So I get 100% what you're saying, but at least I liked the aspect of manifestation, which is, I think that's what it really was.
Well, it's not that I didn't like the idea of like what Adola was creating and representing. I just felt that we lost the theme a little bit here, This is a show about essentially pyrokinesis and how it evolved. It plays on a lot of things, sun religions, all type of things. And I felt like when all of a sudden we just went straight from the themes of like what would be like the religious aspects of Fire Force to, Gear 5, Bugs Bunny,
yeah.
Soul Renaissance, just it's like, all right, what just happened here?
Yeah, I think he had to do that because there was no other way for him to really connect Soul Eater to Fire Force without it being super fantastical.